Hey everyone, with 2021 now behind us, I thought now would be a good time to do a year-end review on the YouTube side of things to show you my back-end analytics and how much money I actually made on the channel. I'll also be announcing a giveaway at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. But I know a lot of you might be interested in starting a YouTube channel yourself. Maybe you've started one already. I certainly valued these sorts of videos showing the back-end analytics and all that good stuff to see maybe what some expectations might be, what's possible on the platform. But whatever the case, ideally this can be valuable or at least interesting. So here is my main analytics page. This is for the year 2021, and it shows all of my total views, watch time, subscribers gained, and then my revenue. I'll go through each of these in more detail. But as you can see, at least when it comes to view count, there definitely have been some highs and lows, but it's been a relatively slow ride up, I suppose. It actually dipped quite a bit from the midsummer going into the fall and then the winter. And I think these spikes are mostly associated with me posting a number of shorts. And what typically happens with shorts, or at least this is what happened with these videos, is they get pushed to a relatively high amount of people in a short period of time. You don't get a lot of watch time out of it, but you get a lot of views and potentially a lot of new subscribers. They're a nice little tool that I'm trying to focus a bit more on for 2022. I'll get back to that in a second, but I just launched a new short series that I think will at least be fun for me to produce, and ideally you guys will get a kick out of it as well. But I'm going to be focusing a bit more on short content to try and get more of these spikes, kind of manufacture them that way and get more people exposed to the channel. I think I have a pretty good body of work, or at least I have enough content out there by now that people can really get a quick idea of what the channel is about and whether or not they like the quality. So now exposing this channel to as many people as possible makes a lot more sense than maybe when I was just starting out and didn't really know as much of what I was trying to do. I'm always trying to improve, of course, but you get the idea. And if we scroll down, we can see my top videos by views for the year. We can actually see that the Bill Huang video ended up taking the cake with almost 5,300 views in 2021. I think it just eclipsed 5,300. I haven't really checked, but this remains my highest viewed video on the channel, even though it was actually posted in April of 2021, not even at the very beginning of the year. So it's had a relatively good run for my channel. And below that, we can see that I have a few M1 Finance videos, which is interesting. This was a sort of evergreen kind of tutorial series that I made for M1 Finance. It's a brokerage I like to use, and I have lots of content about it on the channel. These videos included. If you guys want to check out M1 Finance, I have an affiliate link in the description below. It's a free brokerage. You might as well check it out. Or if you're not sure what it is, you can check out these tutorials as well. But anyways, these have done quite well, and they get a steady amount of views every single day. It's almost like 10 to 20 views per video for these M1 Finance tutorial videos, at least these three. And they slowly accumulated views throughout the entire year because they keep getting views every day. And that's a nice thing to have. You have consistent new people coming in, and this is mainly due to search traffic. People are searching M1 Finance and they come across these tutorial videos that continue to bring in those views. My bar results reaction video has quite a few views, but I think a lot of these were actually bot views or something, because a lot of them were outside of the US, which isn't really a problem in itself, but they came from rather suspect locations, and a lot of these views were only, say, 10 to 30 seconds like this. That's why my average view time on this video, even though it's a few minutes long, is 36 seconds, which is pretty suspicious. So I think a lot of these views were bot views that came in a pretty short period of time, even though this video did do pretty well before that happened anyways. But I don't think it would have been in the top 5 had it not been for some shenanigans perhaps going on in the background. But oh well, I got some views out of it, I guess. And who knows, maybe they were legitimate views and the people just really didn't like the video that much and clicked off it very quickly. I don't really have any proof either way. But moving through the rest of my top 10 for 2021, you can see my channel trailer, and the first episode of my Road to $1 Million in Net Worth series has remained in the top 10. It was last year as well, because this is a channel trailer, so it's going to get a lot of extra views as people come in to take a look at my channel. If they're not subscribed, this is what plays, and I think that's a reason the watch time is relatively low per view, because a lot of people are just coming on to the page and they just want to see what my channel's about. They're not really looking to watch a video at that moment, and some of them might, but a lot don't. So I think that's why the view watch percentage is quite low for this video in particular, but it does get a lot of views anyways. And this is one of my flagship series here on the channel, if not the flagship series, where I'm documenting my net worth and trying to reach financial independence and showing the whole journey. So I imagine that this will continue to bring in views as long as the channel continues to grow, since it is kind of one of those sort of backbone series behind behind the channel. But after that, we're getting below the 2,000 view range over the last year. So there's a much larger group here and it gets a lot tighter. Really, the kind of exceptions are the ones over 3,000 or over 4,000, which there are only a couple. So I guess I will note that Pershing Square and Bill Ackman content here at 7 and 10 continue to bring in views, as do my big law and kind of legal career law school content that continues to bring in views as well. And I'll undoubtedly do more videos about both of those topics in the future. And if we head on back up and take a look at watch time, you can see it pretty closely correlates with views, which is not a surprise since the more views I'm going to be getting, the more watch time I would expect because more people are watching the video. So more watch time is accumulating. So not much to really add there. Here's subscribers, which I actually had a bit of, I don't want to call it a dead period because I've been pretty consistent with gaining a few subscribers a day for the past really couple of years now, but I did kind of expect a little bit more growth in the latter half of the year as my subscriber base grew and as I got more views per video. There just really wasn't a ton of growth here. Maybe there will be in 2022, but it didn't exactly accelerate, at least like I might have anticipated a year ago. But I did gain about 2,000 subscribers in the last year, which is very significant given that I'm only at about 2,700 subscribers. So the vast majority of my subscribers came in the last year. So that's good that I basically 3x my subscribers over the last year because I came into the year with just over 600 subscribers and now I'm at almost 2,700. So that is pretty big growth when you look at it that way. If I were to 3x in 2022, I'd end up at around 8,000 subscribers. So we'll see if that general pace continues. And we can also take a look at which video brought in the most subscribers at a video basis over the last year. And we can see that it was a very close race between my Road to $1 million in net worth episode 1 and then the Bill Huang video, which both brought in just over 50 subs over the last year. And that's based on how YouTube calculates it. You theoretically could have someone who clicks on this video and then goes to another one and then subscribes on that second one. And it doesn't really give any credit to this one. At least that's how I understand it. But anyways, these are the top videos that brought in the most amount of subscribers based on how YouTube calculates it. But what about revenue? That's probably what you care about the most, whether you're trying to run a channel or you're not. You just want to see how much the channel's bringing in. Well, you can see the number right here. That's at just under $430 for the year. So you can see that the rate was really consistent. I'm at just above the world absolute poverty rate of, I think it's something like $2 a day. For most days, I'm making probably $2 to $3 a day, with days that I post being higher generally because I have a spike in views and thus a spike in ad revenue because there's more ads being played. But you can see that it really was pretty consistent. We can actually go up here to the revenue tab specifically and see my exact CPM of about $21.50. And keep in mind, this did only start in June. So this is really half a year of income, I guess, at $428 in revenue. And do keep in mind, I am paying an editor. Christian, thank you for all your hard work on the channel. And thank you for editing this video as well. But right now I am really taking a slight loss on the channel every single month because I'm paying for editing and I'm not bringing in a ton of money yet. But as the channel continues to grow, there is that big scalability factor of YouTube. The expenses might stay the same. I'm paying for editing. I'm paying for whatever I want to do on the channel, paying for equipment. That's all pretty fixed. It's not as though as my income is going to grow, my expenses will exponentially grow with it. And that's a big appeal for many YouTubers, obviously, since you have the ability to really scale your income without dramatically scaling your expenses at the same time. And my top earning videos were actually the M1 Finance videos, which each brought in something like $25, and except for this one, brought $35 over the last year. We might as well take a look at the audience tab while we're at it. And if we go on down here to demographics, we can see that it still remains a sausage fest. Welcome to YouTube Finance. At just about 96% of my viewers were male, according to YouTube, in 2021, and the vast majority were 25 to 34. So actually slightly older than myself, being 24. And I imagine this looks very similar to other finance channels out there where you have about this sort of distribution between male, female, and then also age. And when it comes to geography, we can see where my viewers are viewing from. The vast majority are the US at about 60% of my views, but that's interesting that nearly 40%, over 40% of my views in 2021 were actually from outside of the US, which is very interesting. If you take a look at all the countries here, it's pretty chopped up between many different countries after the US. It's not as though Canada makes up a huge share. It's only at about 2% of my watch time, 2% of the views were from Canada. Even if each country only makes up a very small percentage, it's still really cool to see that there's people viewing from all over the world. And then YouTube also shows this every 28 days, other channels your audience watches. We have Everything Money. They do a lot of value investing content. They recently took the lead, whereas before it was pretty much only the punch card guys. We had Brad here, Tom, Frank, and then also Karan. And we have Value Investing with Sven Carlin, another value value investing oriented channel. You can see we probably all share the same sort of interest in this group. Anyone from the Punch Card channel is probably going to have the same sort of distribution between similar audiences, but this list can really change at any point depending on what video blows up, I suppose. For example, if one of my real estate videos does particularly well instead of one of my stock videos, that might change this distribution to be from real estate oriented channels. Think Graham Stephan, Meet Kevin, those sort of guys. Moving on from audience, we could take a look at engagement, and we can see the average view duration is at 4 minutes and 16 seconds, which that number in itself isn't that big of a deal. What really matters is the percent retention on every video, and it's typically somewhere between the 30 to 50%, 50 being a very good video, but probably closer to the 30% most of the time per each video. And if we move on over to reach, we can see that my videos were put in front of people 1.4 million times. That's this impressions number right here, which is pretty mind-boggling because my channel is not some huge one. Got a couple thousand subscribers, which is really great, but 1.4 million times, that is pretty nuts. And then I had a 4% impression click-through rate. So based on the impressions, 4% of those impressions had people clicking through to actually view the video, which led to about 100,000 views, just over 90,000 views for the year 2021. And the plurality of that traffic was coming from YouTube search. So people type in a search term and then my channel or one of my videos pops up and they'll go watch it from there. So that's where the plurality of my views are coming from. And we can actually break down search terms further. This shows my top search terms. And the top one was actually Pershing Square Tontine Holdings, Bill Ackman's SPAC. We can maybe call it a failure. It was definitely a failure in 2021 for the SPAC holders, but whatever the case, Pershing Square Tontine Holdings was a top search result. Bill Huang, unsurprisingly as well. Sam Zell was, as was Big Law, and then Hertz stock. Also interesting because I really only had, I think, one, if not two Hertz videos, one of them being an April Fool's joke. So interesting that made it on there. And then one thing that isn't reflected here is that I did make a few $100s from affiliate income, and that mainly being from M1 Finance, also Webull and Robinhood. There's some free stocks down there if you want to get those if you haven't already, but I get a commission from that, or in the case of Webull and Robinhood, I get free stocks there. So anytime people click on those affiliate links and sign up and meet whatever conditions they need to meet for me to get money, I will get some income. So that is a nice extra boost on top of the ad revenue. And like I said, it was a few $100s last year, so we're not talking about a world-changing amount of money, but relative to my ad revenue, it was pretty high. So it'll be interesting to see how that affiliate income scales as the channel grows as well. So that's pretty much it for my YouTube analytics for 2021. If you guys have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. But now, as I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, thank you for sticking around. Here is my giveaway announcement for Kicking Off 2022. I'll be giving away a free copy of The One Property Retirement, the book I wrote actually in 2020, and I'll include a link to that giveaway in the description. It has all the official rules there, but in general, all you have to do is sign up with your email there, and you can do lots of things to improve your chances of winning by sharing the link, by following me on my different social media accounts to help pump those numbers up too. But generally speaking, the more you do, the more entries you'll get and the greater chance you'll have of winning. But the contest starts right now, so go ahead and get those entries in. I will stop taking entries on January 14th, and then I'll announce the winner in a video on January 17th. So if you want a chance to win this book for free, then be sure to enter the giveaway in the description below before the deadline approaches, and then I will announce that winner a couple days after it closes. Whatever the case, thank you all for supporting the channel through the last year, and here is to a successful 2022. But until next time, take care.